If you're anything like me, you don't have a full week to just reset your life. So I watch a lot of these videos where people are resetting their life in 1 week, and I just do not have the time for that. Well, in theory, it's nice to take a whole week to kind of get everything together. That's just not feasible for a lot of people. I'm a firm believer in doing things little by little where you can. Even though I can't take a full week to do a whole huge reset, I wanted to at least do like a mini micro reset. I'm just taking a few minutes every single day in 1 week, and that's going to get me a little bit further than I would have been otherwise. A lot of this involves cleaning, checking things off of my to-do list, just normal everyday things that I might have been putting off, goal setting, organizing, just kind of getting things together. I've compiled a list of tips based off of the things that I did, and then I'll provide the rationale for why I'm doing those things. This is something that I'm doing in late spring, early summer, but it can really be adapted to any time in the year that you want to have a reset. This one is just kind of specific to like the whole spring cleaning thing. My first tip is to clean 5 minutes a day for a week. After I did this reset, I realized how easy it was to just look at the clock and like clean up for 5 minutes, and then after the 5 minutes was up, you're done. That's something that I've been trying to incorporate every day, but if it doesn't get done, I don't beat myself up. It's just a habit that I like to circle back to kind of make sure that my space doesn't get too messy, because when we're busy, we tend to just set things down. We say, I'll do it later when I have more time, and then we're exhausted by the time we get back and we just don't get to it. So I just try to take 5 minutes a day to kind of clean up those odds and ends to make sure it doesn't get too out of control. Especially if you speed clean and you just are putting stuff away really quickly, kind of racing yourself, it really makes a big difference at the end of the week. The second thing I recommend doing is unsubscribing from 3 email lists a day. Nobody likes to sit there and go through their email, so just having those 3 a day makes it feel like a lot less. I'm not sitting there for hours going through my email. I just get out of my email, and like normally when I have to check it anyways, and right then and there I see 3 people in my most recents that I just don't need to get emails from. I click unsubscribe, and then I delete all emails from that sender. That just kind of cleans up my email and makes it so I'm getting less notifications that I don't need, and also makes room for new emails that I might actually need. I was running out of space, so I actually really did need to go through my email, but it just didn't seem feasible to take hours out of my day to go through my email. My next recommendation is to create folders on your laptop or phone or any other electronics. I'm so guilty of just uploading something to my laptop and just leaving it. In the back of my mind, I'm like, I'll put it in a folder later, but I never do that. That's how we got here in the first place. I don't have folders for anything. Everything's just kind of everywhere, and it really, really hurts my organization and makes it a lot harder to find things when I'm looking for them. My suggestion would just to be sit down and create folders for things that you've kind of just been leaving here and there. My next recommendation is to go through your clothes or other items that you might want to get rid of. We tend to also accumulate things in our wardrobe that we just aren't wearing or aren't using, and we could potentially be getting some money out of it. It's just kind of like sitting there and depreciating in value. So if you can still get some money out of it, I would recommend taking any clothes you don't want or don't wear into a thrift store or a consignment store, and anything that they reject you can go and just donate. That way it just clears up some space, and then you can use that money that you might get from the consignment and go buy new clothes if you need to. This is a major thing that I like to do every week, but if you don't do this often, it's really good to just take a minute to do a brain dump and just get everything out on paper that you've been thinking about. It's so common to have a thought like, I should do this, I should do this, I should do this, and it's a thought that passes and we forget about it until days, weeks, however long passes, and we realize we didn't do that thing. It can be really helpful to just sit down with a piece of paper and write down everything, however random, that we've been thinking about. For me, this looks like writing down things on my to-do list that I really want to get to doing, deadlines that I have, courses that I want to take, goals that I might have, and the time frame that I have them in. It's just whatever random thing comes to mind so you don't forget about it. And then from there, once you write it down, you can delegate it to a specific time frame or when you'd like to accomplish it and turn them into goals. If you're unfamiliar with this process, I would recommend looking into SMART goals. They're a really helpful way to make them actually achievable, because we can set goals all we want, but if we don't create baby goals to kind of accomplish that larger goal along the way, it becomes really unclear what we actually need to do to get to that end result. My next suggestion would be to declutter and organize. This kind of ties into like taking stuff into the thrift store, but obviously you need to declutter and organize first to do that. Going through anything that you've been putting off going through. Maybe you've got a junk drawer that you need to go through, or you might have a dresser that's kind of overflowing. Any of those surfaces that you collect clutter on, just kind of taking a moment and putting anything away that doesn't have a home, finding a home for things, and then getting rid of anything that you don't need anymore. I remember there being a quote about how your personal space, the space in which you live your life, is a reflection of your mental space, and I think that's so true because I honestly feel so much better even when I'm away from home when I know that I have a clean house to return to. I also wanted to mention that I will be taking clients soon for health, wellness, lifestyle. If you need help in any of those areas and you want to work with me and have one-on-one tailored coaching sessions, then send me a message on Instagram and we can talk about a plan that might work for you. Hopefully you got some value out of this video, and if you have any other suggestions for what someone could do for a mini reset, feel free to leave them in the comments.